Thank you for staying with us. If you just tuned in, this is Y254 Health and Lifestyle Wednesday. Tonight we are talking about foundation of a thriving marriage, and so much to speak of. We will look into how one can learn to invest money, time, and of course building the essential health of marriage. Two people, I'm speaking to couple here, Evangelist Charles Mutinda and Annamary Koku. They will help us to put things into perspective. If you remember this year, toward the end of last month, we had something on social media, and that was driving couples. I have one here. They will tell us how they have been building their marriage. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Karibuni sana hapa kwetu. Now, I want us to move straight to our discussion tonight, since marriage is one of the components that is key in our day-to-day life, and we've come to a point where people, they're giving up on marriages, others want to be there, but which is the way forward? To begin with, what are essential things in a healthy marriage? I'll begin with you, Charles.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hilary, and thank you for inviting us here. One of the key components in a thriving marriage, it's what we call communication. Communication is the backbone of every relationship.
All right.
And when we say communication, we are not talking about speaking. You know, even silence, it means a lot. Kama initagwa nil by mouth, mekosana na wife na husband and amongeleshani, there's a breakdown. That's a communication, but there's a breakdown in the communication. So one of the key things is to align the communication sector in marriage. Try to understand your partner and communicate aje. When she is mad, when he is mad, when things are working and when things are not working. Because you may be like if I'm mad and my wife ananitumia message na mimi nampigia na hashiki simu. That is communication, but there is miscommunication. So it's important that establish a good communication.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me hear from Annamary. He speaks of communication. Nini kingine?
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. Communication, the other thing on top of communication is, can I say it? Yes. In top of communication, the other key, repeat the question please.
Yeah, kwa mfano amepeana mfano wa mazungumzo katika ndoa wakati watu wasikizani. Lakini nini kingine kinaweza changia katika kukuza ndoa?
Yes, kuna mawasiliano kama alivyosema. Alafu kitu kingine ni upendo. Palipo na upendo, ndoa lazima iwepo, kwa sababu sisi wote tunaelewa kwamba kati ya mtu na mtu kinacholeta pamoja ni upendo.
Kabisa.
Na mawasiliano, vyote vinaenda kwa pamoja. Kwa hiyo ukiwa na upendo na mawasiliano, ndoa lazima ikue. Lazima iwepo.
Charles, speaking of communication, because this is one of the areas that has a problem in many people, it has to be two-way.
Yes.
But there is that person who has a problem in communicating in a certain way, and especially I want you to address an issue, which is living with someone in knowledge and understanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we talk about communication, let's break it down kidogo. Personality. I'm very talkative. I talk a lot. And there's what we call sanguine. I'm a sanguine. Mimi ule mse tu piga tu story, uongea. Sikosa kitu ya kusema. My wife on the other side, she's not a sanguine. She doesn't talk much. She's an analyst. Analyze hiyo kitu unasema, analyze situation, alafu akupatie jibu. So I have to find a way, how do we link together? When she's quiet, she's speaking. Na wakati na mimi naongea sana, am I speaking? Because pia naweza kuwa naongea sana and then I'm talking nothing. So you have to know the personality ya mtu. And this is because we are talking about foundation, hizi ni zile vitu ufanyika during dating and courtship. Kuelewana, kujua umse upenda nini, umse ulike aje, na ni nini inamfurahisha, na nini ufanya aongee, ama nini ufanya. We are told ladies have moods. Nakatu hivi mara me change to ghafla. You need to understand that saiza kwenye mood mpatie tu time yake. Men they don't have a mood, lakini kuna cocoon, kuna ilitoka kahigo, benyamaza tu nini hakuna. Sometimes I'm just going through my own issues and then my wife is like, what is the problem? Hakuna. So that is communication. Because when she's asking, she's showing care. Ile upendo inaonekana. So kama tu jinsi alivyosema, upendo lazima ukue. And understand upendo unakuaje for a woman and for a man. As long as my wife anaweza niambia nakupenda sana, it doesn't make sense like when she shows respect to me. And as much as naweza mheshimu mke wangu, if I don't tell her like now, maybe you look so beautiful, you're so you look elegant.
Wow.
But she's the only bean in my kideri, my only sugar in my tea. So when I communicate such things, they are speaking to her. So understand the love language. Ni gift gani ukimpatia inaweza kumuonyesha upendo.
Actually it brings me to that love language, but before then Mary amesema kuhusu mazungumzo fulani na nyinyi wawili unamjua. Kuna watu ambao wakikutana pamoja hawajuangi ni jinsi gani watakavyowasiliana na kujua mume wako ama bibi yako huwa hivi. Did it take you long to understand him?
Yes, thank you. Kwa mara kwanza when we met, okay, we met some times back before we get married. So it didn't take me long because our relationship was long distance relationship. So we never see each other in 9 years. So haikunichukua long to understand him because we were communicating very well. We were so open very well. So sikuwa na shida ya kumfahamu, sikuwa na shida ya kumuelewa, sikuwa na shida ya yani we linked. Yes.
All right. Charles.
Yes.
Love languages. I understand they are around 5 and people understand them differently. And kuna kujifanya na kuna ukweli wa mtu.
Yes.
How do you define that my partner is this kind and truly this is the path I should follow?
One thing that defines us as a person, exposure. Mtu ametravel sana na amekuwa exposed, akona knowledge ya vitu mingi. But that doesn't mean that person is wise, doesn't mean that person akoni better kuliko mwingine. So one of the things is when we are the challenge I've seen when I've been in a hotel and you look, unaona tu kijana na msichana wanaingia and you look at them, hawa tu lazima kuko na date. Alafu msichana na spend time kwa phone, msichana na spend time kwa phone, wanakula, wanaoneshana emojis and then they leave. And then they spend like 2 hours. But what were they doing? Walikuwa tu kwenye ile, unajua ile tu chatting and doing what. But mtu haja take time kumfahamu huyu mtu, kumjua anaongeaje, anakasirika haje, what are the things. They don't ask questions. Because one of the things that it's important to try to understand a person is to ask questions. Know their background, know what they have been through. When they share, as men, it takes time to share. You just don't share. If I go with you from here to Kitale, we may only talk of football and
politics.
And politics. But huyu na mwenzake wakipanda nini gari hapa, by the time wanafika Kinoo, amejua anameolewa lini, anatoa ngapi, the challenges they are facing, and that way they engaging in conversation. So one of the things to know the other person and what they love and what they appreciate and their love languages is to engage them in communication. Send a guy a text, ana respond aje. Kuna kitu mimi usema, and I want to say it in a very openly. Men, the things they value, they give it time, they give it resources. Kama you are dating a person na kupatia time na kupatia resources, that is a danger. Kwa sababu kama mwanaume anapenda gari yake, ataitunza, ataipeleka garage, ataisafisha. Kwa nini asicreate time na wewe? So when we bring on time, somebody spending time, quality time with you. Because unaweza spend time with you 2 hours ama 3 hours and we are doing nothing. So one of the key things kuestablish hizi vitu ni wakati mna date. This is what the Bible says in Matthew chapter 7. It talks about a foundation. Jesus said, whoever
Good
listens,
thing you brought the biblical aspect of
yes. Jesus said, whoever listens to my words and obeys them is like a wise man who has built his house on a rock, and when the storms come, they will prevail. But who does not is like a foolish man who has built his house on a mud, and when the storms come, it is the same case with marriage. Build your marriage on a rock, which is Christ. Involve him. Have that forgiveness of heart. Men, we harbor so much pain, and we tunaliaga tukirudisha machozi ndani. Na tukijifanya tukijikausha sisi ni wale wase watu, but you find in time that guy cracks. So we need to be able to speak and share and talk what is happening inside us, so that when you give this an opportunity to a woman, she's able to let me demystify something ambayo imekuwa this. I know it is related to the foundation, but it's very key: submissiveness and love.
Right.
When a woman hears the word submissive, it becomes hell.
Especially the generation you
in the generation we are. Yeah. But let me tell you, it's a very clear point. It says for the man to love the woman, and for the woman to be submissive. Remember, the man is the leader. You are leading. Lead by love. Commit, penda tu yu mwanamke. I know there are few, well, let's not dispute, there are few, hata ukiwapenda aje, they will still not awapendeki. But the fact remains, when you love a woman and you love her right, she will submit. And this submissive, we are not about, I've married from Tanzania, by the way, I'm an international husband.
Wow.
Married a beautiful lady here. And where they come from, they are made to, kneeling down is part of there. Actually, the first time when we were menda kwao, unapigiwa magoti, and then you are like, oh my goodness, what is this? And it took her time for her to understand. For me, it is a culture shock. I can't go take it through, because to me that was not submissive. That was slavery.
Okay.
So when we say submissiveness, it's not the heart of just the woman just keeping quiet and just saying yes, 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 yes. She has her voice. She has her views. She has what she wants and what she knows. So you have to involve her, engage her. And this way, you are building a relationship that is leading to thriving. The other thing is kwa a thriving marriage, you need to be forgivable, and you need to be able to forgive. A marriage belongs to two people. Forgive. Mazee msiposameana. If you cannot forgive. Ndio maana unaambiwa sisi men we emulate Christ. Na Christ anasema tunafaa tusameane 70. Mazee unapiga hesabu in a day. So you need just this heart of forgiveness. And for her, we are told they are weaklings. We are not saying they are weaklings in terms of ukitaka kubeba hiyo stool, unaitafutaga yule mtu ana nguvu kama mbe. So marriage kuna equal power. It's just a way of leadership. So lazima kukuwe na forgiveness. Okay.
Let me hear from you, Mary. Now that we've been told vitu mingi zenye zinachangia kujenga ndoa, ni nini ambacho kinaweza changia kupromosha ndoa?
Ni mambo mengi yanaweza kuchangia kupromosha ndoa. Jambo la kwanza tukianza na kuelewana, yani matatizo katika ndoa, yani kutokuelewana, kutokuwa na mawasiliano mazuri, ama tunaweza sema mawasiliano yenye afya. Alafu kuna kutokuwa na utiifu ama na moyo wa kutii. Alafu pia na amezungumzia kitu kingine ambacho pia kwa upande mwingine kikifanyika kinaweza changia sana kupromosha ndoa. Kwa mfano, kwa mwanamke anaye submit, usipofanya hivyo, mara nyingi mwanaume anajiona kama hajakuwa mwanaume.
Na wengine wanasema siwezi submit kama ha provide.
Sawa. Naweza sema kitu kimoja kuhusiana na hilo. Okay, yamekuwa ni mengi sana yamezungumziwa wakati huu, especially this generation. Watu wanazungumza kuhusu ndoa kwamba unajua sasa kama Kenya huku watu wako mbele sana, teknolojia iko juu sana, imezidi utamaduni. Kwa hiyo mara nyingi unakuta wanawake wanafanya kazi, wamekuwa nao wanajimudu kiuchumi. Kwa hiyo unakuta hivyo vitu vinachangia sana kuifanya ndoa iumbe. Unakuta mwanamke anaenda kazini, anarudi saa 2 usiku, saa 3 usiku, amechoka, and then sasa na mwanaume labda amechoka, hawawezi saidiana. Sasa unakuta mwanamke anaanza kulalamika na mwanaume analalamika. Kwa hiyo hivyo vitu, and then hakuna muda wa kukaa kuongea matatizo yao, yani tutako issues kama hizo issue kidogo kidogo. Kwa hiyo unakuta ndoa inaweza vunjika, and then ndoa ni ya watu wawili. Mara nyingi kuna Bible verse inasema mara nyingi wanaume wamekuwa wakitumia wanasema the foolish woman ndo anajifunjia ndoa yake mwenyewe kwa mikono yake miwili. Lakini ukija kuangalia hiyo imeanza kutumika kama silaha. Wanaume wanaitumia kwa wanawake kama silaha, kitu ambacho si vizuri, kwa sababu ndoa ni ya watu wawili. Lazima nyinyi wawili wote mfanye kazi sawa kuhakikisha ndoa yenu inasimama.
Okay. Now,
actually, allow me to chip in
right
on what you said. It's very true. When ndoa imeanguka, tunaangaliaga sana mwanamke, and the society blames the woman so much. Huyu achana naye aliolewa akashindwa. But look at the reality. The reality is Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership. A man who does not know to lead well will lead that marriage to failing. So if the foundation is not right through leadership, the man is not offering the right leadership, hiyo ndo itaanguka. And kama tu alivyosema, as much as the society is blaming the woman, sometimes we never go to hear the other side of the story. A woman who has given up in marriage, I am so sure she has done everything. She has gone to every pastor, she has sought every opinion and everything. She has talked to so many people. By the time she's lifting up her hands, the truth is she has really tried.
Right.
I'm not saying men are trying, they are trying.
All right. While at it, please give us one major problem you think is an impediment to a healthy marriage and a solution to that as we wind up.
We have my ministry is called the Love Train Family, and one thing that we have been focusing on, we are looking at single mothers and young mothers, and how we can help them shape their lives, because they found them in a situation they could not actually work. Most of these young mothers or single mothers, they never found themselves where they are. Things happened, it was a roller coaster, and all of a sudden ameachiwa mtoto. The society needs to look at this also as a people who needs their support. Before once someone gets divorced or becomes a single mother, what role are we playing? What as a leader, what are you doing there in the forefront? I advise men, learn to speak out. Belong to a group of men who are able to open up and share and build you. But not in the club.
All right.
You have to found the be a member of a church with a sound doctrine and focus on building. The other thing I can say in relation to making that this marriage works as a solution, we should not neglect the place of prayer. It's not everything is solution in prayer. Sometimes you just need to talk and say, I'm sorry. So we need to learn and say, I'm sorry. But we need to be praying for our marriages. We need to give a dedication to have a day. Just pray for your marriage. Pray for your spouse. Ladies, don't wait until the man has gone out and then you start now praying and canceling and killing and chasing and demonizing that thing. Pray for this man before things get worse. The man also take the leadership of a prayer warrior.
All right.
Yes.
Maoni ya mwisho.
Maoni ya mwisho. Maoni ya mwisho ni marriage works with wisdom.
Thank you for the hope.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Charles and Mary. I wish you the very best in your marriage, and as you try to make us understand here that marriage works, we believe and I hope things will be better even in this particular era we are in of people who don't believe in marriages. Thank you so much for staying with us. They have been my guest. Charles Mutinda is an evangelist and fashion designer, and Annamary Koku, and my name is Dereva Hilary, was sitting in for Patricia Muriuki. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. See you again when God allows us to. I'll be seeing you again next year, same place. Until then, enjoy your festive season. Goodbye and enjoy.